Welcome back to On the Beat. I'm your host, Rachel Hurt, and today we'll be talking about Alzheimer's. We're talking today with Dr. Andy Barlow from Chiropractic Physicians Center in Tupelo. Welcome back, Dr. Barlow.
Hey, thank you for having me, Rachel.
Well, I've got something fun for us to do today.
Okay.
It's a little different. We've had some viewers send in some questions,
Okay.
and it's about a topic that I know that you are very aware of and are an advocate for.
Yep.
We're going to talk about Alzheimer's.
Okay.
So the first says, according to the Alzheimer's Association, how many stages are there for Alzheimer's?
And that's a really good question. There's actually 7 stages to Alzheimer's. So the way it works is, what I like about it is stage 1 is you actually have no symptoms. And then stage 2, what happens, we start getting focus, attention, and concentration disorders. And a lot of times people just kind of slough it off and laugh about it. And, well, I'm just getting older. They start making excuses. So when people come into my clinic with those types of symptoms, I take that very, very seriously. And then we move into stage 3. And the easiest way to explain stage 3 is when you start walking into a room and forget why you walked in there, you call someone on the phone, you forget why you called them, or you're in conversation and you forget what you were talking about. And that may happen periodically, but when it starts happening every day, then we start moving more into stage 4. And then the problem is once you get into stage 5, you're so far gone that nobody can help you. And then you end up with stage 5, 6, and 7. And that's the reason I give seminars and talks out in the community, because we want to address this as early as possible.
Sure, sure. Education is a very, very
It
important
is.
thing. Well, the second question is, are dementia and Alzheimer's the same thing?
They're kind of in the same family. They're not exactly the same thing, because when you look at dementia, there's a big umbrella term, and 80 to 90% of people that have dementia, they kind of go down that road called Alzheimer's. But also under the umbrella of dementia, you have Parkinson's or Parkinsonism. You have frontal temporal demise, where people actually start to lose their personality because it impacts their frontal lobe first and then their temporal. So they lose their personality, their impulse control, and then they start to lose their memory. And then you can also have what are called microvascular insults, which means you can actually have micro strokes, little bitty mini strokes in the brain that can lead to that.
TIAs, is that what those are called?
It's a different type
term.
of, yeah.
I see, I see.
But it's a good question, though, but it's a little bit
I
different.
have heard that before. Is it possible to slow down the process of dementia?
And there have been tons of research on this, and the answer is yes, if you catch it early enough, because the stages are 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are the best stages to be into and actually slow it down and reverse it according to the scientific research. But again, once we get into stage 5, we have so much cognitive demise that you just can't repair that.
Okay, last question.
Okay.
Is there any way you can tell if someone is susceptible to dementia?
Okay, now the answer to that is yes. According to Cyrex, there's a blood test that we can run in our clinic, and it actually tells us if you have actually proteins that are being produced in your brain that can slow down neurological transmission, and more importantly, it can tell us if our blood-brain barrier has been breached. And so those two in combination are very telling signs as to what, if we're moving in the wrong direction or in the correct direction.
And that's a blood test you do in your office?
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yep.
That is amazing.
Yep.
Well, this is a topic that I know affects a large number of people.
If I might share with you, it's last year research was out, it was 5.8 million Americans, and then in 2022, 6.5 million.
Really? That's a staggering number.
Yeah, it is.
It really, really is. Well, thank you for sharing all those answers
Thank you for
with us
having me.
today. Absolutely. If you want to learn more about Alzheimer's, dementia, how Dr. Barlow and his staff can help you, all the information's up on the screen. Give them a call. I know they'd love to help you. We'll be back after this short break.